Hello viewers, my name is Chase Clover, and this is my review on the May 28th, 2014 edition of USW Wednesday Night Intensity. Feels good to be back in something that I know a bit of. This past Sunday was USW Tap Out. This Sunday is USW Key and Case, and everybody wants to know who's going to win the Key and Case match and get a chance to face whatever champion they want, whenever they want, for the championship at any point in time. Man, this intensity was pretty intense, as the name belies. Man, we start off with the intro. The announcer's talking. USW Tap Out 2014 highlights. And also it is announced that Amor is eliminated from the BP series, the Bulletproof series, with 0 points. I'm sorry, I do not have the point sheet for the USW Bulletproof series, but I'm trying to have it as you know, when I can get it. Here we go. The first match of the night. Prophecy defeats Fernandez via pinfall in the first Bulletproof series matchup of the night. Prophecy, filling his shoes up. He's doing very well for himself. He won the the Unified USW Tag Team Championships this past Sunday night on USW Tap Out 2014. And Fernandez was the one who lost the titles to Prophecy and Cannon. Gringo was his partner, whatever. So Prophecy gets a win this past Sunday. He also gets a win tonight, or last night, and we're gonna find out if he gets the win this Sunday. But it was a pretty intense match, and it became a match where you didn't really want to miss it, because there were points in time where Prophecy was kicking arse, and Fernandez was kicking arse, and it came out to be where Fernandez made one tiny screw up going to the top rope. Prophecy capitalized, flew him off the top rope. Fernandez got up, DDT, Fernandez is down. Prophecy gets the count. So, after that came an interview with Zach Hardy, who retained the USW Championship this past Sunday. And so, that's that. Then after that was a Bulletproof Series triple threat match. Greyhound defeated Philip Akron and Rush via submission. Greyhound is getting a lot of opportunities. Greyhound, though, it was reported by Zach Hardy, because he's very intact with the USW roster. He said that Greyhound is asking for time off, or less, a less stressful kind of schedule. And I mean, it's expected. A lot of performers in USW want a less busy schedule, because they have to maintain themselves, and being in the Bulletproof series means you have to wrestle often. And so maybe when the Bulletproof series is all over, maybe Greyhound can get his time off then, or even if he gets eliminated, then he has his time. He has a chance to do more, and that's that. Philip Akron, not much is being done with him. Not much has been done with him since he was in the USW World Heavyweight Championship picture last year. He's worthy of a rivalry, of a storyline, or whatever, and hopefully they can get it to him. And Greyhound wouldn't be a submission, but Rush, I don't really know what to say. He hasn't been pulling his weight around in the Bulletproof series. Neither had Amor, who I talked about, in the Bulletproof series. This in my Tap Out review, and he's eliminated from the series, the Bulletproof series, so don't know what he's going to be doing now. But Rush hasn't been pulling his weight around, and that's what happened to Amor, so he could be the next to be eliminated from the Bulletproof Series. I don't know. It's possible, but, I can't say for sure what's going to happen. Rush always has a chance. Everybody has a chance. It's just whether you can capitalize on that chance, or whether you just let that chance slip away, or that opportunity slip away. But that's really what I have to say. Greyhound wins, gets 10 points. Oh, Prophecy got 7 points in the Bulletproof Series. Greyhound gains 10 points, and that's that. After that, Morbid came out to the ring to cut a promo for USW Key and Case 2014. And, to my surprise, he got the heck booed out of him. When at Tap Out, at USW Tap Out, when he beat Kyle Reese, even when he came out, everybody started booing him. I think they thought, well, Zach Hardy beat him at Call Greatness 9, he should have ended his career. No, they brought him back, and I guess that doesn't, sit right, because if Zach Hardy were to lose, he would have been kicked out, and they wouldn't have done much with Morbid, so it was just kind of they were lucky to get Zach Hardy to win, because, he ended Morbid's streak, kept his career, and Zach Hardy is doing way more than Morbid has ever done. Morbid only signed a contract with USW back in June of last year. His contract's almost up. He signed with, I think, June 10th, if I remember. I was doing some information search, or some kind of, answer search, or some research or whatever, and, so his contract may be up. So if he loses this Sunday if he wins this Sunday at Key and Case, that may be an AJ Styles type situation, because AJ Styles won the championship, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, back when he was in TNA before his contract expired. His contract expired, and he kept the title, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and walked away. So that went on. Not sure what's going to happen with Morbid. Cut a promo, like your average promo, and pretty much, I don't know, he cut your average, everyday promo. I'm going to beat you at Key and Case, I'm going to win the title, yeah, I'm gonna get payback. So that happened, and that went on, and then there was a third match of the night, and it was Yo-Yo Joe defeating George Martin. Yo-Yo Joe, guess he's trying to get back on the horse, but I don't know if he's succeeding. He's asked for time off. He should ask for time off, and I believe he has already. But I think he's got to get his stuff together, man. I think he's got to really improve himself. I think he's really got to step up. Winning against George Martin, that's a good victory. George Martin's in a rivalry. He's got a storyline, so that's a good win for you. But you got nothing going for you. He's got nothing going on. He's got no rivalry. Well, he has no rivalry. He has no storyline. Besides the pay and besides the recognition, he may be better off in SWO. But, I honestly don't see, if he were to take time off, and if he were to want to get out of his contract, I don't see them letting him out of his Legends contract, like, of a pre-release, or an early release, or a resignation. I can see them doing it with Zach Hardy, or Derek Carter. Those are the only real two that I see, or maybe even Morbid. Those are the three that I see that have a chance of, with all the recognition they have, of getting out the contract early. Zach Hardy a little less, because he's in the Legends contract, but Yo-Yo Joe, I don't think he's recognized too much, and I don't think he's known as, close too much, enough to be released early in his contract. And if he were to do that, then either he would take time off and come back to USW, or pull a Jeff Hardy, or Rob Van Dam, or a Kurt Angle, or Mr. Kennedy, or a Bubba Ray Dudley, and go to TNA. I could see him going into SWO and then coming back to USW. Probably would end up becoming heel because the fans would boo him or something. But yeah, Yo-Yo Joe needs to take some time off, and I don't think I'm gonna cut down on that kind of rant until he actually does take time off. And I'll notice when he takes time off because it'll just show it on Intensity because you won't see him on Intensity. And you'll see it because he won't be on pay-per-views, and at that point, after a little while, then he's taken a little bit of time off. Whether it's a little break, maybe 4 or 5 weeks, that'd be fine. I wouldn't say a week or two. If it were to be 2 months, a month or two, then that'd be good for him. If it were 4 or 5 months, then I'd see it hard to be believed that he would be coming back to USW. If it were for 10 months, and I don't see him coming back to USW, but, only time will tell, and so we just gotta go with what's going on now. And for George Martin, he's got a rivalry with Alex Martin, or let me clip that. He's got a rivalry with Alex. I'll get that point in a minute, but, he's got a storyline, he's got a rivalry going, the rivalry is brewing again, and I don't know if it's winning over, but it's, that's pretty much that. Not much else to say. But after that, we see two performers we haven't seen since, or on Intensity, or any pay-per-view since USW Steel Purgatory 2014, I believe. Yes, I'm talking about Switchblade and Blade. Apparently, something happened. Actually, I think we saw him in a match beforehand. Well, we haven't seen too much of them since USW Steel Purgatory, or when they lost the titles, or whatever. The unified USW Tag Team Championships. But we haven't seen them much, and so Switchblade challenges Blade to a match at USW Key and Case 2014, and I don't know if there's a rivalry to bring them back on Intensity or pay-per-views or USW, but I want them back as a team. Honestly, I think they would be better as a team. They were a dominant tag team. Don't they have... Yeah, I think they have the record for most amount of times held. They've held the unified USW... I think they hold the record for holding the unified USW Tag Team Championships on the most occasions. But now that they're in a rivalry against each other, don't know how that's going to work out. I can tell they're very used to being a tag team. They may be very used to being a tag team, but now that they're singles competitors, I guess they may be in another direction. I guess it'll just, the pieces will fall in place. Anyways, after that, it was the fourth match on the match card. Alex Martin defeats Western Light. Now, not going to get into Western Light right now, but this is the last time you will hear me say Alex Martin. This next sentence, or this review, if I don't slip up. After the match, Alex Martin announces that his name is now Alex. Not Alex Martin. I guess he cut he cut Martin out of his name. I guess he cut out his last name. So he is now he cut out the Martin in his name. So it is now just Alex. So Alex defeats Western Light. Alex in the rivalry with George Martin. I don't completely know how that's going to turn out. I guess time will tell. As I said, George Martin, Alex Martin, George Martin and Alex, or Alex and George Martin. Their rivalry is brewing. I don't know if it's going to win over the fans completely, but it's doing what it needs to do for the most part, and that's pretty much that. But anyways, Weston Light. He doesn't have a storyline or a rivalry going on. I don't know what USW is doing with the big performers. I think I'm gonna put out a video about the top performers in USW and what they're doing now, just to show you what they're doing. Maybe I'll do some comparisons. Whatever. I don't know. But after that, after Alex Martin announces that his name is now Alex, there was an interview with Capital. He talked about how he was going to beat Majigita this Sunday. So apparently they're going to fight this Sunday. I may have my USW King Case 2014 pay-per-view preview and prediction video out sooner rather than later. But yeah, we'll do that. Anyways, after that, the fifth match of the night, Gringo defeated Cannon by pinfall. Gringo earns 7 points in the Bulletproof Series. Gringo was on Fernandez's team, as I talked about earlier. Cannon was on Prophecy's team. Cannon and Prophecy are the new unified USW Tag Team Champions. So, and they're singles competitors as well. I mean, Cannon and Prophecy are more of the singles competitors rather than tag team competitors. Fernandez and Gringo are tag team competitors, not used to being the singles competitors, but you know, it just takes time to develop from a tag team competitor into a singles competitor. And, you know, gotta remember to keep breathing, keep keep a hold of your breath. Keep your lungs clear. Don't get too don't let go too much of your energy, because that just makes you want to have somebody tag in, and when you can't tag anybody in, then that doesn't do good for you. But that's that. Cannon and Prophecy have the advantage in the Bulletproof Series because of the fact that they're singles competitors. They are, though, going to have to, kind of develop themselves into tag team competitors as well. Because now that they got the singles competitors down, they got to work as a tag team now. They're not completely used to doing that. Gringo and Fernandez have the tag team thing down. Now they got to get used to, or they got the singles competitive thing down, or they've got the tag team thing down. Now they have to focus on the singles competitor thing. So, both teams have things to develop, and I think Fernandez and Gringo have the upper hand in this rivalry because they are a tag team. This is a tag team rivalry. It is in a Bulletproof Series. It is in the Bulletproof Series, which is a singles competition, whatever. And they still are competing for these the Unified USW Tag Team Championships. But it's a tag team rivalry. Gringo and Fernandez have experience as a tag team. Cannon and Prophecy don't. So Fernandez and Gringo have the upper hand in the fact that they are used to teaming up and being in a tag team, but it's very unpredictable especially when you have real wrestling. But you gotta kind of go with the flow. So that's that. After that, there was the Key and Case 2014 match participants announced. The participants are Switchblade, Blade, Chris Ross, Lane, BP Fierce, CED, Scene Sheen, and Alexander Rodden. So those are the USW King Case 2014 match participants. Which brings me to the sixth match of the night. Switchblade, Tallman Chris Ross, Lane, and BP Fierce versus Blade, CED, Scene Sheen, and Alexander Rodden. A lot of things wrong that I'm not going to get into right now, but I can't get them all down. But Switchblade and Blade Actually, no, I'm sorry. Switchblade and Blade are not in the USW King Case 2014 match. It is Tallman Chris Ross, Lane, BP Fierce, CED, Scene Sheen, and Alexander Rotten. I'm sorry. Here's the problem with this. Switchblade and Blade are in a tag team match with other competitors in a different type of match. Another thing is, why Lane and BP Fierce? Another one is Scene Sheen. I don't know why. Another one is CED isn't here, but where is ED? Which is something that I'm confused of. And Alexander Rotten, someone who lost this Sunday in a USW championship match, is now in a match for developmental superstars to get a shot at any championship. Now he's in this match. Can anyone explain to me why he's demoted down to this after competing for the USW championship and winning it less than a month ago? Does this make any sense? I mean, I'm gonna get into this more at USW in my USW King Case 2014 pay-per-view preview and predictions or whatever, and I'll probably have it after in the review. But why? Why? What is wrong with USW's booking? It's confuses me. But anyway, Switchblade, Tallman Chris Ross, Lane, and BP Fierce defeat Blade, CED, Scene Sheen, and Alexander Rotten. And also, Tallman Chris Ross, really, why have Tallman Chris Ross, a former USW World Heavyweight Champion, is now in a match for developmental superstars or performers to have a chance at a championship match of any type of championship whenever they want within any time period whatsoever. They can keep the contract and leave USW. They can take that briefcase home. They can take it to SWO. They don't even have to use it. They can just get out of their USW contract and be done with it. Hanastley won the 2013 USW King Case match, and guess what? He hasn't been seen on Intensity for a month or two? I don't know. Maybe a few weeks ago, I don't recall. But now he's asking for a release from his contract. I believe his contract ends in August or so, but now he's in a training facility or whatever. They've taken him there. They're letting him develop in the training facility, something that you can't see on Intensity or anywhere else. It's pretty much a private training thing. But they keep him there until he develops, and then they're gonna put him in. But here's the thing: if an athlete leaves USW in August, what are you gonna do with that briefcase? Honestly, I see no way that you can do anything with that briefcase that will not drive suspicion. 'Cause, I mean, here you have people who are worthy of this briefcase. People like Tallman Chris Ross, people like Alexander Rotten, who have been successful in their careers already. But then also you have people who you can, if he were to leave without cashing in that King Case contract, you can take the King Case contract away from him and give it to somebody like Yo-Yo Joe or Weston Light or Cannon or Marsha Guetta or Zach Hardy or Derek Carter or Morbid or whoever. Someone who's made their mark. Don't just make it a developmental match, because then what happens if they win the USW Championship or the USW World Heavyweight Championship? Where are your ratings then now? In my perspective, the only way that this match can be saved from a lot of criticism down the road is if either Tallman Chris Ross or Alexander Rotten win the match. Because if Lane, BP Fierce, CED, or Scene Sheen win, their ratings are not gonna go up. Especially considering the fact that they're gonna want to cash in that contract for the USW Championship or for the USW World Heavyweight Championship. It's a proven fact. How many times in WWE do you see the Money in the Bank contract be cashed in for the Intercontinental Championship or the United States Championship? How many times? You don't. You don't. You don't get it, though, do you, USW? You don't get it. You know, you have these developmental, performers. What makes you think that they're not gonna win the major championships like the USW Championship or the USW World Heavyweight Championship? What has possessed you in your right mind to think that? Anyways, I can't get into all of that now because of this. This is not the pay-per-view review. I'll get into it at the pay-per-view review. But anyways, after that there was an interview with Shigeta, and then after that was the 7th match on the night. And it was DHIG defeating Dwayne Porter by pinfall, winning 7 points in the Bulletproof Series. I'm not going to say any more about Dwayne Porter until he starts, demoting or whatever. But, Dwayne Porter, doing good. DHIG, he's starting to roll. But, that's that. Not much else to say. After that, Morbid sits at ringside for the next match and announces that the match at USW Key and Case 2014 is a tables, ladders, and chairs match. So Zach Hardy will face Morbid at USW Key and Case 2014 for the USW Championship in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Now, with wrestling knowledge, if you know wrestling, then you would have suspicions with him sitting at ringside. And during the match, you'll see that your suspicions were right. If you went with your gut feeling, then that's what you went with. Because the 8th match of the night and the main event of the evening, Zach Hardy and Shigeta defeat TJ and Wilbur by disqualification. Do you want to know how they got disqualified? It wasn't because of TJ or Wilbur. Your suspicions are right. Morbid got involved. So it was during the match, and then Zach Hardy started off against Wilbur, and then they got the tag in, and then at the end of the match, during the end of the match, or ending of the match, Wilbur grabbed like a plant holder or something, and accidentally whacked his partner TJ in the head with it. After TJ went off after Zach Hardy's hamstring the entire night, the hamstring on his right leg's hamstring, all night, or for most of the main event. And let me tell you, after he hit TJ in the head with the plant thing or whatever, you knew Zach Hardy was going to capitalize, and he did. He hit the Hardiac face plant. Now, here's what really threw me off, because obviously USW is a strictly, completely real wrestling thing. There's nothing scripted about it except for the scenarios and except for the rivalries or whatever, the way it goes, the way it plays out. But they don't know who's going to win, so they don't plan too far ahead. So they're making a sacrifice by not planning too far ahead just to give you guys what you want. So, after the Hardy face plant, Morbid comes in and chokeslams Zach Hardy, grabs the USW Championship belt, holds it above his head, and the camera fades to black. Apparently, afterwards, Morbid walked away with the USW Championship. Came back out. Well, I mean, he didn't completely walk away. He walked to the edge of the ring, and then came back in and dropped the title belt on Zach Hardy, or whatever, on his waist, or whatever. He dropped the USW Championship belt on Zach Hardy's waist. That's what happened. But that's that. And I don't know what to say about this upcoming pay-per-view. I don't know whether to say it's good, or whether to say it's bad, or I don't know what to say about it. So, hopefully you guys can help me out here. But, nah, that's it. That's all I gotta say. Remember, guys, to like, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm Chase Clover, signing off.